Kevin Owens apparently is the smartest man in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
It was me, Owens. It was me all along.
You gotta say it higher with like a thinner voice. It was me, Owens. It was me all along. I don't know why, Seth. Demon Kang. That's my Seth Rollins impression. Like a Gilbert Gottfried kind of thing. You fans, I don't like you.
All right, enough of that.
Okay. All right. We kind of all knew Seth was gonna we saw him on the heel turn. He was denying it for a couple of weeks. He was denying it all show. Kevin Owens comes in and says, I'm going to find AOP and beat him up. I know Seth's behind it all. So he goes out, gets a metal rod from Rey Mysterio, the one that he used to beat up Brock and then get beat up by Brock. But whatever, it's fine. It's still a metal pipe. It's still very effective. Kevin Owens goes back through all the back halls looking for AOP. Runs into Mojo Rawley, who gets on his bad side. He slaps Mojo Rawley, which comes back to haunt him later. And eventually Seth Rollins shows up in the ring and says, I can't believe you guys think it's me. Why would you think that I'm doing anything wrong, Kevin? Come on. At which point Kevin Owens comes out with his metal pipe and says, oh, my God, Seth, it's so obvious that you're a dick and that you're doing this. I mean, I tell you what, why not just beat you up before AOP comes and gets me in the ring because I don't want to be a 3-on-1. That's just how these things work. It sounds like, I'm so insulted. I can't take it anymore.
How dare you?
I'm out of here. How dare you? I am so hurt and insulted. And he takes off. Kevin Owens left in the ring when who should come out but Sami Zayn, who apparently has got a manager's license, which is
Sami's on SmackDown.
Fancy,
how
fancy,
I thought we were done with this wild card shit.
He got a managerial license, Nick. It's not a wild card rule. It's just a fancy way of saying it's a wild card rule.
Can I apply for a managerial license?
Sure, and you could be on both of our episodes of BWO. Oh, wait, you already are. We already have the wild card rules kind of always in effect on our show. But yes, Sami Zayn came out with the insulted Mojo Rawley, who is so insulted that Kevin Owens would slap him in the face. They come down to the ring. Sami Zayn tries to broker a peace between the two of them. Mojo starts running his mouth. Sami Zayn says, don't run your mouth. Kevin Owens says, you think I'm such a big deal because I'm holding a metal pipe? Well, why don't you hold it? Throws the pipe to Mojo Rawley as Mojo catches it, kicks him, stuns him, beats the crap out of him with the metal pipe. If you've seen the Twitter, he had some legit welts on his back, Mojo did, when he got backstage. Beats the crap out of him with the metal pipe, chases off Sami Zayn, and goes running back to the back to find AOP, which he eventually does. AOP had showed up earlier in the show in a nice van. He finds the van, trashes it with the metal pipe. Doesn't look inside too much, though, because he failed to notice the hooded figure, the cloaked figure sitting in a swivel chair in the back of the van, which once AOP shows up and beats down Kevin Owens, the back of the van is opened, and the hooded figure creepily turns around like the Emperor in Return of the Jedi and slowly pulls off his hood, a la Mr. McMahon, when he's revealed as the head of the Ministry of Darkness, the higher power, if you will. And it revealed to be none other than Seth Rollins.
Of course.
Of course.
Who else was it going to be?
And, yeah.
I loved this. I loved everything about this.
And Seth gets out of the van and curb stomps Kevin into the concrete and then goes out to the ring and cuts a heel promo where he essentially says, it was you fans that turned me. I thought we loved each other. But you don't love me. You made me turn evil. I wasn't even evil until tonight when I decided to join AOP, which makes total sense because they had a swivel chair put in the back of their van just for me to turn and join them. Meh. You fans. I'm evil, Seth. And then AOP comes out. They stand together, and that's that. Okay, so what did you love about this, Nick? Because I was sitting there rubbing my temples the entire time.
Who doesn't love a good heel turn? We've been, I like.
Was this a good heel turn? Was this a good heel turn?
Can I finish?
Just curious.
I mean, you asked me a question. Let me.
All right, go on.
We've been seeing this coming, and look, fundamentally, Seth has been for the last few months, especially the trigger point was probably the Hell in a Cell match. Let's be honest. But he was fading a little bit before that, but that was really the catalyst. That was the thing that really kicked all of this into gear, was that Hell in a Cell match. People turned on Seth. And the fans, everybody turned on Seth. And his Twitter shit didn't help, and all of that, da-da-da-da-da-da. But the smart thing is that they've turned into it. And that's what I appreciate. I think it's been done well. And you've already got a built-in feud right here that's probably going to run to Rumble, at least, if not beyond. And who doesn't want to see Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins in a, blood feud? Because boy, Owens is going to be hot after this if he's not dead from that curb stomp into the concrete. Because he didn't move for 5 minutes while they were standing there talking.
And they took him away on a stretcher with a neck brace.
Yeah. So I like this a lot. And there was that moment at the end of the show, or at the end of the sequence, where Seth was standing out there and AOP kind of just walked in, and you had that threesome that just framed up perfectly in the camera, and I went, I started thinking about, like, other factions. Like, we haven't had a good, solid, like, other than New Day, we hadn't had a really good heel faction. Like, I had high hopes for Sanity coming up and doing something.
This didn't smack of, like, what was it, 2016, Seth, after WrestleMania 31 with Mercury and Noble? The one like Mercury and Noble got jacked.
That felt like chicken shit heel authority, Seth, and I think that worked well also. But this feels like, holy crap, they're going to hurt people.
I'll admit, I am skeptically optimistic.
Okay.
For Seth with AOP. I am. And you and I both love the fact that AOP is getting this high of a profile.
Finally.
I do like that. Yes. Great. I can't wait till they let them go out there and just murder people.
I love that they're just talking in their languages and just not giving any Fs about. Yes. They don't care that people can't understand what they're saying.
Kayla Braxton even had a crack about that later in the show where she said she's got to learn another language to work the show. And I'm just like, wah, boo-hoo. That's the way it should be, frankly. I like it as well, where people are screaming in their naked languages. Oh, my. Their native languages. And, so there are aspects I like about all of this. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, love that. Seth Rollins and AOP could be good. Skeptically optimistic. Kevin Owens being smart enough to figure out what's going on, even though apparently the logic of this was that Seth wasn't evil until Kevin turned him evil or some nonsense like that. It was muddled. It was convoluted. It was a dumb swerve. It was like misdirection that fooled nobody. It's a magician saying, watch my hand, while he's very obviously putting the rabbit into the hat. Do you know what I mean? It didn't work. And
hey, look, it's Elvis.
Right. The dramatic reveal of it being Seth Rollins, which is kind of
yeah.
But there's a lot to like here. And I thought that Seth delivered his promo well. The logic was really kind of twisted. When you're a heel, and I've heard people that liked his logic here that it worked for. Okay, great. I'm glad it worked for some people. For me, it didn't ring true. I think there's a lot that they could have done with the grievances that Seth had against the fans recently, the way he's been acting, and turning him into that. And I don't think they quite hit that nail on the head with the way he turned.
I don't know if they had time to spend that much more. I think they could have gone down a path about the match with The Fiend.
They have as much time as they give themselves, Nick. They have as much time as they give themselves.
Well, as we kind of saw this week, things ran a little long. So
they're a billion-dollar company that's been doing this for 40 years. Why are they still running long is my question. Like, yes, I know it's a free-flowing show, but if it runs long, it's on them. Like, that's come on. That's just a professionalism thing. And I get it. It's a TV show. It's live. Like, stuff happens. Totally empathetic to that. But it's the same thing with saying, oh, no, they didn't have enough time to turn Seth's character. Why didn't they? Why did you not figure this out if you think it needs enough time? I think they could have done it in the time they had, personally.
Here's my one concern.
It's the same thing with the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns feud earlier this year. Why didn't you have this figured out? Why are you running things by the seat of your pants?
Yeah. My one big concern I have about this that I'm overly skeptical about is you've now got the OC and whatever this new thing is going to be called, if it's going to have a name, and it's not just Seth Rollins plus two.
Right.
You've got two heel factions on
Just
Raw.
don't call it Seth Seth and AOP because that just
no, it needs a name.
Saups.
It needs a name for sure.
Okay.
And I hope they give it that treatment because it could be really, really good. And I hope they do more than just turn them into goons. So that's my one concern is having two heel factions like that and which one stands out. Does OC go away again? Do we lose the Good Brothers again because now we've got AOP with Seth? Did they take the spotlight away from OC?
Right.
I'm
because
mildly
we can't have more than
concerned
one
about
kind of,
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, AJ and the OC sound, they feel pretty solid, at least what it seemed on the rest of the show. So, yeah, there's a lot to pick apart here. I'm curious where they're going with it. I wonder if we'll end up with it. It doesn't seem like we're getting a TLC match out of this yet. Maybe something will get put together at the last second. It's WWE. That's how they seem to do things lately. Last minute Seth and Kevin match, not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
But
Smaz finish doesn't finish at all. They could run that forever.
Oh, of course. But again, this didn't quite work for me on the show, and it just came down to the execution. I think that the basic foundational stuff there is they're going in the right direction with everybody involved here. I like the fact that it ran through the entire show. I think they need more storylines that run through the entire show. But yeah, I thought that, again, the foundational stuff here, fine. Execution, a little shoddy. But I could just be nitpicking.